Welcome everyone to the Super Speedway Kings, and tonight we are back at Daytona. Welcome to the IWM broadcast of the Super Speedway Kings. I'm Rick Souza here with my co-host, joined in the booth by my co-host Jeff Nini. And welcome, Jeff. Good to be back here in Daytona with the Super Speedway Kings.
It really is, Rick. It's fun to watch these guys. It was really interesting watching them in practice. They got their practice done, got their trucks set up the way they want to, and then for the last 2 or 3 minutes, they had fun. And it was interesting to watch them trying to drift around the pit lane and things like that. So the guys were having a good time tonight. They're loosened up and they are ready to go.
Well, we've got a great turnout tonight. Right now we've got qualifying underway. It's typically one lap here at Daytona. That's always the fastest lap, your first lap around, and we're seeing a number of drivers getting their qualifying in. We'll see as they begin to cross that start-finish line, the best times will begin to populate, and we'll see where they line up. But while we're doing that, let's take a quick look at the current track conditions here in Daytona.
It is a nice evening here in Daytona. 65 degrees right now, no rain, clear skies, very little wind. The race format tonight, 77 laps. These guys are allowed 2 quick repairs. They're running at about 68% fuel capacity. Pit road speed, 55 miles an hour. They can take tires as often as they want. They'll take them a little bit more here at Daytona, but you won't see a lot of 4-tire stops. 2 green-white checkers tonight if we need those at the end of the race. NASCAR's version of overtime, and let's hope we don't need it, Rick.
I agree. But hey, we'll see what happens. Sometimes we use those when we've had some great competitive driving, and we've seen that many times here with the Super Speedway Kings for sure.
Absolutely. These guys know their way around. Most of them, I guess, primarily drive super speedways here on iRacing. And when you do something that much, they have gotten quite good at it. They'll have a lot of good battles tonight. You'll see a lot of changing lanes, probably a lot of 2-lane driving, occasionally 3 lanes. And at Daytona, 3 lanes is tough. That makes it very, very crowded. You see the 22 there of Zachary Lima just having a good time. That was intentional, folks, that he didn't do that. That was not an accident. They're just having fun getting loosened up before the race starts.
So right now we're watching Cody Nagels make his way around for his qualifying lap.
I've got to pop in and see Cody one of these days. Every time I'm taking a road trip, I end up in Rolla, Missouri at a convenience store. So I've got to figure out where Cody lives and ask him if he'll let me run on his rig sometime.
So we got a number of drivers who have qualified. Not everybody has made it out quite yet, but there is some time to go. And at this point, with the way that these trucks are in this league, that some guys may just choose to start in the back and let the race come to them. So,
yeah, we do see that from time to time. Gabe Butler has not qualified yet. He was our fastest in practice. He was the leader there, and
I think it hasn't. I think the tower hasn't populated
hasn't
with everybody's.
Updated.
Yeah, it hasn't updated.
Oh yeah.
But Gabe is there. He's I think he's 3rd right now. So.
Yeah, he is. You're right. I see it on the iRacing tower rather than on the stream. So
we're like many things, folks. We are at the mercy of the software feed from our partner, which is SDK, and it doesn't always come through clearly. But it is what it is. But I think we're done with qualifying, and we are about to go racing.
Yeah, Gary Jenkins got the pole with a top speed of 51.35. That's a very good run. Kevin Freese right behind him with a 51.37. So just 2/100ths of a second separating the two guys on the front row.
Well, let's give it a second here and see if we can refresh our overlay.
This is when you wish that we had the same kind of a crew that Fox TV or NBC does when they do a race.
All right, so there we go. Our grid is up, and we've got Gary Jenkins on the pole in that number 90. To his outside, Kevin Fries in that 25. Behind Gary Jenkins is Gabe Butler in the 88, and to his outside, Dude Conrad in the 8. Cody Nagels fills in for 5th. Zachary Lima is in 6th. Steve Korosak in 7th. Everett Lane in 8th. Eric Laurie in 9th. And Joe Delavecchia is in 10th.
We've got, following those guys, Joshua Gaithright picking up the 11th spot, along with Patrick Groover in 12th. The Groover brothers here tonight. We're excited to see them again. His brother Seth is following him in the 02 truck. They'll have the 01 and the 02. Seth is in 13th. Got Anthony English in 14th. And the inside there, Zachary Workman in 15th. Robert Rock in 16th. And they are followed by Brian Boussard in 17th. Richard Sanchez in 18th. Next row, Bob Fitzgerald in 19th. And he is sitting alongside Edward Fiedler in 20th.
In 21st, Robert Jordan. In 22nd, Todd Siebels. 23rd is Dean Wilkinson in the 55 truck, and Brian Rainville is in 24th in the 60. So that's pretty much the grid for tonight's event. Right now we're waiting for the rest of the drivers to grid up.
And they're rolling.
They are.
That's a nice shot there.
Yep, making their way off the pit road, working their way back up to the racing surface.
They will make just one warm-up lap here, and you'll see shortly that pace truck will come around off turn 4, dive into the pit lane, and we will be ready to go racing.
All right, again, we want to thank you for joining us here on the IWM Broadcast Network of Super Speedway Kings. Our Wednesday night series, which is the Tech for Troop series, is actually in between seasons. So if you're interested and you're watching and you want to join a Next Gen Fix Setup League on Wednesday nights, feel free. I think they're doing some hosting sessions for the next 8 weeks. But if you enjoy Super Speedway racing, you've tuned in for a great one each Tuesday night. We've got these great races here with the Super Speedway Kings.
They rotate between 3 different tracks. Tonight we're at Daytona. Last week we were at Talladega, and next week we should be at Atlanta. So they'll bounce every week. They change tracks to a different super speedway. Even though Atlanta is not technically a 2.5-mile track, it races like a super speedway with the new pavement that it has. So these guys lump it in.
Here we go. Green flag is out. We are underway here at Daytona.
Love the sound of those engines spooling up as they get through the tri-oval and coming down the 31. Gary Jenkins still has the lead. 25
of Kevin Fries on the outside. Gabe Butler tucked in behind the 90 of Gary Jenkins. Outside Duke Conrad.
When you've got a 77-lap race, these guys will pace themselves. They won't go balls to the wall right out of the chute, right down into the they'll pace themselves, make sure that truck is under them the way that it's comfortable for them, and they'll just try some things these first dozen laps until we get to the first green flag pit stop. And they'll experiment. They'll see how they push and how well they can be pushed. So a lot going on through a driver's mind as they go through these opening laps.
So since they're running a limited amount of fuel, we should see them in somewhere in the 20-25 lap range.
Yeah, they normally run somewhere in, you're right, that 20 to 25. There we've got a lead change. That 25 truck just came down. Kevin Freeze got in front of Gary Jenkins there, and you'll see that from time to time. Drivers will try to pick a line that has momentum, has a run, and then they'll use that run to get them to advance a spot or two. And you'll see that truck that's on the outside there. I think that's the 8th truck. Conrad. He's going to try to get enough space that he can get in front of the 25, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it.
Well, back, we've got 77 laps to go. Really, it's really just trying to find where you can be comfortably. A long race, you can't, you've heard it before, you can't win this race on lap 1. And this is an interesting track. So at Talladega, we've seen these guys 2 and 3 wide for sure. Daytona, 3 wide. It is definitely a track that takes a lot of cooperation amongst all of the lanes if you're trying to go 3 wide.
Yeah, you really have to trust the drivers that you're racing around in order to go 3 wide here. This track has a few bumps in it. It'll bounce your car from side to side. The aero push off of that truck in front of you will move your truck around. And it makes it very, very difficult to safely go 3 wide here for any length of time. And there, Dude Conrad has moved down in front of that 25 truck. He's credited with the lead right now, but that 22, Zachary Lima is working really hard to try to get in front of him.
Well, great night here at Daytona. This track sets up just beautifully here at night. It's pictured really incredibly well here within iRacing for a night race. So lots of really portrayal of this track here.
Really interesting to see how that outside line only has about 6 trucks in it right now. Everybody seems to be staying down in the bottom just to get comfortable, make sure that they've got what they need in their truck, or start planning on any adjustments that they want to make during these upcoming pit stops.
Well, 6 laps in the books right now at this point. They're thinking, where am I? How can I get ahead? How can I move up? Because it is a chess match. Move your way up on the track and get around others.
That is true. The best drivers can feel that momentum. They can feel which line has an advantage or where they're at. Sometimes they will actually drop back in order to get a run and go faster. So it's like you said, Rick, it's a chess match. Guys planning and strategizing and trying to figure out what's going to be the best move for them.
Well, we've watched these guys this is our 2nd season, countless races, and it never fails to really thrill me as both a commentator, but more importantly as a broadcaster and a viewer.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's funny because we do these races every Tuesday night with the Super Speedway Kings. I find myself not knowing which role I'm in. Am I a spectator? Am I a fan? Am I a broadcaster? Am I a commentator? I just love watching these guys run. And,
yeah, it's so much fun.
Every track they put on a great show. Just saw a little lane change right there with that 55 truck. He moved down into the bottom lane, felt like he could get an advantage by doing that. And then that gives the people that are a little further behind in that outside lane, gives them the opportunity to try to make a move forward. I think that's the 027 of Steve Korosek there that had the opportunity to move up and gain a couple spots because of that.
We could take that opportunity to an opportunity to see what's happening inside one of these trucks. Let's get a driver's perspective here. Try and jump in with Everett Lane and 24 truck.
Oh, yeah, beautiful shot. You can see his hands just moving ever so slightly on the wheel. And that's pretty much an exact representation of what's going on in Everett's home or wherever he has his racing rig. He's moving that wheel just slightly. He wants to stay directly behind that truck in front of him. You can see as that front truck starts to move one way or the other, Everett will try to follow him. But the main thing is to get a feel for what the air is doing off those trucks in front of him. You saw there right before we cut away that the outside lane was starting to get a run. No, we were up to 7. Now we're back to 7. Somebody that in the white car just moved up there, right as I said it. That outside lane is still, it's formed up pretty solidly, but just not a lot of takers. Right now, everybody's more content to hang out in the bottom. Those guys towards the back are staying far enough apart that they've got maneuvering room if something happens in front of them, but yet they're close enough that they're not going to lose the draft. We've talked about it almost every week that the difference between driving a single car around this track and driving in a pack like you see right now, probably 5 seconds a lap, maybe 6 seconds a lap. So you do not want to lose the draft. You've got to stay in touch with that pack so you can keep your speed up and stay with the group. Otherwise, you get lapped in a hurry.
So you're seeing last time these guys were by that those laps are running somewhere in the 47.7 range, which is, yeah, significantly faster as a group.
Almost 5 seconds, yeah.
So just looking at, you can see that we've got no stragglers. The whole entire pack of 24 drivers continues to make its way around as one group. But that'll change. Once we get to green flag pit stops, we'll see some changes there specifically. It just is the way of how it works with green flag stops.
The Groover brothers have gotten separated a little bit. Patrick Groover in the 01 truck's in 8th position. His brother Seth is in 12th. They started pretty much right next to each other, but ended up getting separated a little bit as guys changed lanes. Right now, Patrick's in that outside lane, running with those guys driving that white truck there. I can't see the paint job on it, red and white. They usually have.
They're both in that outside line right now.
Are they? Okay. They usually have very similar paint jobs. They try to. They'll do things with. Yep, he's running. Patrick's running the Mario truck tonight, and I'm going to guess that his brother Seth is probably running Luigi.
I think it's Yoshi.
Yoshi. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Mario Brothers. That's a shot inside of Zachary Lima, but yeah, we're beginning to see a little bit of 3-wide action here. That outside lane is going to form up a bit.
Patrick Groover went up there. The Groovers love that outside lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see Seth go up there and join them, and there he goes.
Yep. So now we're 3 wide here at Daytona. This is so much different than what we've seen at Talladega.
Somebody who is at the 8 truck, it looks like, got down on the apron there.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the 6.
We've got the 027 leading the outside line. That is Steve Korosek. Get the 6 behind him. That's Cody Nichols.
interesting. I can hear the drivers' channel on the radios, and some of these guys aren't real thrilled about being 3 wide. And I would be one of them, I've got to admit. 3 wide at Daytona is a nail biter.
So we are 3 wide by at least 3 or 4 lanes, I mean, rows of traffic. So this is stressful. Whether you happen to be in that middle lane, there's not a lot of room for error here. That middle lane has to hug that yellow stripe. That high line needs to. Oh, there's contact, and they saved it.
Beautiful save. Wow. But that gave that outside lane the momentum, and there you saw that. I think that's that 027 of Steve Korosek was the leading car in the outside lane, and now he's moved all the way to the bottom. So he accomplished what he wanted to by being in that lane.
Yep, the 22 of Zach Lima definitely has some left side damage where he got into that truck. I think it was the 8.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We're still wide here at Daytona. 16 laps in. You can see, though, that a number of drivers have said, you know what, I think I'm going to save it. We're just 17 laps in, 16 laps to go.
Yeah, you're about 4 or 5 laps probably from the first of our green flag pit stops, so that outside lane's starting to dissipate now. They've gone back to 2 wide. Everybody that wants to pit is going to get down to that bottom lane for the most part. Not necessarily everyone, but almost everyone will be in that bottom lane to pit. It's very, very difficult to do that outside lane.
Well, that's the benefit of what we've seen with these guys here. They do a fabulous job of coordinating and calling their entries onto pit road, and it's they're dropping off at 185 miles an hour, dropping down onto pit road, trying to get that car under control and not get a speeding penalty on pit road, because that here on super speedways is a kiss of death.
It really is, and it's so difficult. You don't realize it until you've actually sat in the simulator and done it. When you leave the banked racing surface, come down onto that apron, which is much, much flatter, it is a real jolt to the car. If you're not ready for it, it can just send you spinning. So these guys do a great job when we'll see them here in the next few laps. I love when we get green flag pit stops because it'll string the field out a little bit more. Gives some excitement, gives us some drama, and we'll see some pit strategy here as well.
So next couple laps, we should see some guys making their way down onto pit road. And of course, it's always it really is a chess game. It really is, because if you look at the long game, everybody plans for, if it does happen to go, how can I make the least amount of stops and wind up with the best position?
Yeah, it's almost like road racing where you plan your strategy from the back forward, where you can calculate how much fuel you're going to need, how much fuel you're going to burn, how many laps you can expect to go on a green flag run. Last time we said 20 to 25 laps, and I think they went right at lap 20. So that's where we are right now. We'll see, but looks to me like they're going to keep going.
So currently your top 10, Korosek, Conrad, Freeze, Lima, Jenkins, Lane, Rory, Nagels, Gruber, Della Vecchia. Oh, and the Gruber brothers are in.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, they're coming down pit road together. Good strategy on their part. Lap 21, where we begin to see, had made some expectations that we would see them see pit stops happening. But I'm expecting the rest of the field. We'll see them momentarily.
Yep, they didn't take any tires either. It looks like just fuel, and they're off. We'll start seeing everybody else coming now.
Well, if you can do that while on the track, that's the only way. If you come in by yourself, that's just trouble. Here we go.
Well, look at that big pack breaking off now. One of the interesting things about this, these guys all pit together, which means hopefully they all come back out together, and they'll be able to run down the Groover brothers fairly quickly when you get that many trucks running in a pack, trying to run down just 2 trucks running together.
We'll take a wide shot of pit road right now, and we've got them out. So most of these guys all in the 10 to 11 second pit stops. Oh, contact. The 90 got swept. This did not get cleanly off pit road, unfortunately.
Caution's out. Somebody, yeah, there he is.
Let's go back and see just what happened there. I know that was Gary Jenkins when he was leaving. It may have been Edward Fielder. Let's go back and see if we can. Nope, I don't think that was. It may have been the case. Let's keep watching here. So
right there.
Right there. Yep, there's contact with Gary Jenkins. Unfortunately, Gary then gets sideswiped and winds up. Let's go back and look at that a little bit and try to get a better feel for what exactly. So we've got the 90. He's leaving his pit stall.
Yeah, he's in that number 3 pit stall and can go straight out. Looks like he's just a little cockeyed there from spinning his rear tires, but then, yeah.
Just a sideswipe. Yeah. I think just a racing incident at that point between.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting him to come up. He was expecting him to go straight.
Yep, that's unfortunate. All right, so in the meantime, we got a number of drivers who did not pit, who are now coming down pit road. Zach Workman, Anthony English, Dean Wilkinson, Todd Siebels, Cody Nagels on pit road, as well as Brian Broussard, Robert Rock. Those were the guys who stayed out. So we'll see just how this all shakes out.
This is going to really shake up the field some. It'll bunch them all back up together, but the order is going to be a little cockeyed compared to what we had prior to these pit stops. We'll see who gets the advantage here.
I don't think it will be too bad. I mean, these guys had just come in, but now we've got a little bit of a different strategy. You've got a couple lap advantage by the guys who just came in on lap 23-24 versus the guys that are in on lap 21-22. So, and that may play out long term. I don't know.
Gary Jenkins in that 90 car who had that incident on pit road, he is shown as 1 lap down. So not sure if he'll get the wave around. I would think he'd get the wave around.
He should get the wave around. All right, we'll let NASCAR kind of figure out that order as that shakes out. But just kind of a recap: 24 laps in, some great racing. We've seen 2 and 3 wide here at Daytona. Just another great example of why people tune in to watch the Super Speedway Kings and join us each and every Tuesday night.
Well, that's interesting. The 90 truck did not take the wave around. He chose instead to go down pit road. So he must have a little right front damage there that he feels he needs to get fixed.
Yeah, a number of drivers did come back down pit road. Now you're probably wondering, why do they head back down pit road? Well, It's not really a need to, it's a want to. So they come back down, they take a little bit of fuel. You see Gary Jenkins right there getting some tires changed. He's coming back out. But if you can come back down and top off that tank, take an extra little bit, that's helpful.
Absolutely. Sometimes it comes down to just that one extra lap of fuel, and if you can do it without hurting your position, then go for it.
All right, so yep, right now the scoring tower does show the 90, 1 lap down. I think also, so Gary Jenkins is the only car 1 lap down. So in effect, if there is the caution, he will get that lap back and get that lucky dog opportunity. So the lights are off on top of our pace truck. We'll be back to racing here momentarily. And here we go. Steve Korsak was our control car, and Steve said, let's go. 25 is Kevin Freese on the outside. He's got, lots of spinning lots of there in the back.
Somebody come on the radio and apologize. I didn't catch who it was, but somebody did not get a good start. And the guys behind him wisely decided to cut down to the inside rather than run up his rear bumper. Chatters.
I think that may have been Anthony.
It sounded like somebody missed a shift from what I heard.
Let's see if we can capture that back here. There's some definite contact.
Boy, and that's one thing you do not want is front end damage on these trucks. They are so aero dependent at a super speedway like this that if you get your front end banged up even the least little bit, it's going to knock time off your lap and put you at a disadvantage.
Someone got out of it and then all of a sudden dropped off.
Yeah.
Contact, that is Anthony English there. Saving it though, did not come back up. That's great. Back up on the racing surface. That's the hardest part right there, going at whatever speed he was at that time to get off the apron, cross over where the apron meets the racing surface and get back in line.
Yeah, it was the 052 of Joe Delavecchia. It looked like that was the first car that may have lifted or missed a gear or something, but at any rate, it stacked people up behind him and everybody was trying to get out of the way.
All right, thank you for bearing with us. What we now, we've got, we've got 49 laps to go here. Kevin Freese is showing us the way. Gabe Butler's on the outside. The 510 of Sanchez is behind Gabe on the outside with the 6 of Cody Nagels. On the inside, Gabe Butler with the 24 behind him of Everett Lane, and behind Everett is the 027 of Steve Korsak.
I'm going to guess probably 14, 15 laps until we have a pit stop opportunity again. We can. So far, this has been a very, very clean race. There have been a couple little minor incidents. Had that one incident on pit road that brought out the yellow right in the middle of green flag pit stops, but Other than that, very, very clean race. Guys able, guys have issues now and then, but they've been able to save it, get the cars back under control, and get back in line. And now, with that incident, Joe Delvecchia is also a lap down. Gary Jenkins is the first truck a lap down, followed not too far behind him is Joe Delvecchia.
All right, so as you know, with that green flag stop and that restart, definitely it's kind of changed up a little bit here. We've got a little bit of a single line that's racing out front. The hunt for that outside line, the form backup is out there. I think once those guys form back up a bit farther back in the pack, that'll be an invitation for those guys who are in that lower line to decide to move back out. Right now, you've got the 19 outside lane started. He's got a little bit of help, I think, from the 6.
Yeah, I correct my statement earlier. Joe Delvecchia is in the pits. It looks like it's interesting. iRacing scores in 3 laps down now.
Shelton is out at this point.
Okay.
He's retired.
Okay.
All right, so that outside lane has begun to warm up and gain some momentum. Oh, a little bit of a push. The 19 was there, and then it looks like...
Yeah, Zachary Workman just apologized to for giving him a little too much of a push.
Yep, that's the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. Yeah, he did get a pretty good push. And now things are shaking up a little bit. Fortunately, the 55 has moved out to the outside. He may cycle back to the end of that outside. There he is, and drops back down to the outside. That puts Gabe Butler out there with Kevin Freese behind him, dominating that low line right now. But don't look too far. That outside line has begun to really get some momentum. The old 27 of course, Zach, with the push of the 19, has got a really good run.
Yeah, Gabe Butler is no stranger to that number 1 slot. He spends a lot of time there. He's running 6th for the points right now, but he actually has 2 less starts. I mean, we're only 7. This is our 8th race of the season, and he's 2 races behind, but still running in 6th place in the standings. So he was our winner last week, and looks like he's trying to do that again this week.
All right, lap 34 is in the books. 40 laps left to go. We are side by side here at Daytona with the Speedway Series.
That outside lane just is not getting very many takers, is it?
Nope. But those that are making the best of it, they were pretty far back. They were able to really drive some great runs. You are really at the mercy of the draft.
Yeah, and I think, whoa, there we go. Diving down to the bottom.
Yep, that's
yep.
Drove down.
Got what he needed out of that outside lane. Racing is a very selfish sport. Every driver out there is not out there to help everybody else. They're out there to win. Every driver that you see on the track right now wants to win this race. Who doesn't want to win at Daytona? But that's just the makeup of a race car driver. It doesn't matter if it's a real life driver or an iRacing driver, and we have several guys in this series series that do both, but they want to win. So it's, they'll help somebody if it's going to help them at the same time. Or they'll draft with somebody so they can make friends, be a good drafting partner. But you watch when we get down to the end of this race, it won't be polite anymore. It'll be every man for himself.
Well, that's what we would expect from these guys specifically.
Absolutely. I think what we see a lot of here at this midpoint of the race is guys will just drop back into that lower line just to get a breather. It's very intense running up there in the traffic all that time. You got somebody at 185 miles an hour, 6 inches off your bumper. It gets your nerves fried, gets you on edge. So sometimes guys will just drop to the back, get a little bit breather, and then work their way back up again.
Speaking of that, I think the Groover brothers, they went in early for that pit stop on lap 21. They came back in. They did not come back in and top off, so they were back in on lap 20. And they are right now at the tail end there. They've got the pack going here. They've got the Seth is out there, Patrick and Anthony English. I think they're all running together. They're trying to make their way back up to the front. I don't think they're gaining, but I don't think they're losing much.
Yeah, I think Anthony. Yeah, I'm trying to
He's the
sort
last
out
car
on.
the lead.
Yeah. Okay. My standings are not working correctly.
Their last lap was a 48.13, 48.12, 48.09. To compare that to the leaders, they're running a 47.47. So there's definitely an actual. Speaking of that, and right on this cue, the Groovers are now on pit road on lap 20, lap 39. So 20 laps.
Yep,
19
that's
laps.
that's their point. 20 laps.
All right, so the Groovers are in on lap 39, and we should expect the rest of the field down momentarily. Of course, Corsac he's on lap 21 last, so we should see them first. The group behind them, Zachary Workman. Zachary pitted on lap 24, so he doesn't need to come down. Down. Zachary Lima is also on lap 24. Cody Nagel lap 23. Guys, pretty much the balance of the field came in full on lap 24. So I think the next one we'll see is that top 4 or 5. That Butler Freeze, Lane, and Lori, possibly Duke Conrad and Richard Sanchez, who came in on lap 24. So expect to see about 5 or 6 drivers drop off next lap or 2, and then maybe 3 or 4 drop off after that. In the next round of pit stops, if we stay green, that's always the caveat here. It never fails that we, right at the point at which it's a green flag stop, something happens. Whether it's a driver trying to prep and get ready to make that stop, or just a racing incident that occurs getting down. It just seems to work out that way.
Yeah, and it could be that this pack that's still out there is deciding we can run much faster than the Groovers can run. So let's stay out here, take advantage of that higher speed, and see if they can put more distance between them so they don't lose spots when they come into pit. There they go. Skip pit road again. So we're up to they've 4 laps beyond.
May have retired.
Okay.
They've been down there for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I show either 2 or 3 laps down, depending on which one of my standings.
Has retired, and Seth is still on pit road.
Okay.
All right. So that being said, we should expect some green flag stops momentarily. Now with 36 laps to stop here, they will need to stop one more time prior to the end of this race.
Yeah, they passed pit road again. So now they're starting to make me nervous. When are they going to pit? It's got to be coming up pretty soon because they're probably 19 laps into this green flag run. So they're still fine on fuel.
Yeah.
No problems there, but be interesting to see when they come. They'll come as a big organized pack.
So like I said, yeah, we should see 5 or 6 drivers come down next time by. Remember, they pitted last on lap 21, which means you got to figure there's 2 laps after that might knock up under caution. So 22, 23.
Oh,
so,
there goes some. The back of the pack's coming in.
So that's Brian Broussard, Dean Wilkinson, Todd Seaman. Those guys also pitted last on lap 21. The top 5, Butler, Rees, Lane, and Flory pitted last on lap 21. Conrad and Sanchez. Again, I expect to see those guys down here.
Yeah, I think they'll all be coming this time. That outside lane has disappeared completely. Both of the Zacharys pulled down into the inside lane to get ready to come to pit road. So it's got to be either this lap or next lap.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so 4 laps to go. We got sub green flag. Pit stops happening, and here we go. Those top guys who pitted last. In fact, a number of guys who pitted on lap 24 are now down onto pit road.
That is an art form, the way those guys come down to pit road. They just all scatter, give each other room, and try to hit that 60-mile-an-hour pit speed limit right at the line, the entrance to pit road. Hold it at 60 mile an hour until they're in their box. There you see the inside tires going on that Ford F-150 right there. Steve Korsak out in front on that pack.
Sure did.
Okay, 11 seconds. He definitely didn't take 4 tires.
Nope, best you can do is maybe 2 and fuel.
Yep. And now these guys have loaded up as much fuel as they can possibly take to get them as deep into this next run, but to give themselves margin, basically. So if there's a yellow flag somewhere in the next, within that 25-lap window of the ending of the race, then they'll drop down, get fuel, fill it up, have enough fuel to make it to the end. And if there's not, they can go as long as they want up until they get down to that last couple laps worth of fuel. Then they'll have to come in and take a few gallons, what we call a splash and go, in order to make it to the finish.
So that round of green flag stops has kind of broken the field up a little bit there. Got some single file packs out there. In front, that's the 027, the 19 of Workman, the 22 of Lima, 25 of Rees, the 88 of Dave Butler, with the 44 of English back there. He made his way back up there, although Anthony English now is on.
We've got 17 cars on the lead lap now. And Gary Jenkins is still showing as the first car 1 lap down. It's hard to get your lap back when there's no caution flags.
That's right. So that second pack of Duke Conrad, Gatebright, Marie Sanchez, Fielder, and Dean Wilkinson have moved back up. And now you've got this pack as well. So, that's the thing with trucks. There's a lot of power there. You can definitely work as a group, as with good drafting partners. You can make up that distance as long as you're more than three or more trucks. Or you're 2, it just is not going to happen.
Nope, not at all. 2's definitely better than 1, but you're right. You want at least 3 to really start picking up that momentum. Steve Gorsek having a banner night tonight, spending a lot of time up front. Zachary Workman, who is our points leader, running in second place there in that 19 truck. And these guys just all behaving themselves. You got Zachary Lima in the 22, Kevin Fries in the 25, Gabe Butler in the 88, then Dude Conrad in the 8. Just everybody behaving themselves, keeping track of each other, and trying to just stay in line and keep that momentum going.
Yeah, so Karen Gruber just chimed in on our YouTube channel to say that, hey, the Grubers had to stop. They've got hockey tonight. So they jumped on long enough to participate like they did. We appreciate watching them. They always add excitement to our broadcast and our race, but hey, they got hockey practice.
Hey, that's right. You gotta have your priorities. Good for them for sticking to it.
So I think the field, unfortunately, has the last car of the lead lap is the 44 of Anthony English, and I believe they are about to catch him, which they just did.
Yep, he just went a lap down. That puts Robert Jordan, the last car on the lead lap, and he's the lead lap.
Yep, you can see him on our track map above. That's that 74 circle. The leaders in 4 seconds highlighted in that lime green, and they are bearing down about just a little bit, maybe 1 away from catching that 74. Now, as a single car, you're making around here, you're doing your best, but you're probably about 52 seconds around the track, where this pack is turning in 47.61s.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. You can see how rapidly that gap is closing. It won't be long before Steve Korosek and gang catch up there to Robert Jordan and put him a lap down.
Best it's probably his right here. So you can see from that Steve Korsak's got a little bit out of shape. Big push behind, but you can see he's got that car, that 74 is right there, and that 74 has up to the outside.
Smart drive for him to get up through that outside lane, give these guys enough room to get by him. You don't want to muck it up for everybody else. Just get up there, take your medicine, and get back in line and try to stay with them now.
Well, he is, the 74 is now the first car a lap down, so Gary Jenkins is Gary Jenkins was a victim of that earlier incident on pit road around lap 21, so he's hoping that next time by, if there is a caution that comes out, he's an opportunity to get his lap back and get back up there. But he stayed up there with the leaders and continues to.
Yeah.
So 25 laps to go. That outside lane is got a couple of taken out there. 22 of Zachary Lee. That's the 5'10" of Richard Sanchez in the outside there, but they're going to need some help if they're going to get and continue to keep momentum on that outside line, because everybody down on that low line. So now the strategy begins. You're hitting last on lap. Logic says that you've got at least 22 laps or so of fuel. That's lap 66 with 77 laps to go. But with there being 24 laps to go in the race, there is a point at which you can pit early, top off the tank, get back out there, knowing that everybody has to stop. Nobody is off cycle. Everybody pitted around lap 43, 44, everybody has to make a stop. The question is, do you pit early and gamble that a yellow is not going to drive around till your tank is dry and wait it out just in case something does happen?
That's a tough call in this race because there have not been very many cautions. Doesn't appear there will be. So that makes it tough to decide. They've once they get to about 20 to go, they're probably safe for at least one green white checker. So I'm going to guess that about, if somebody's going to come early, they're going to come about 18 or 19 to go. And but I just have a feeling that most everybody's going to play the long game. They're going to stay out, see what happens. There's no need to rush coming in. You don't get any advantage by coming in unless a yellow does come out. But even then, if you're running up front, you've got track position anyway. So if it was me, I'd stay out.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a track where tire wear is really a factor, which you typically see on the mile-and-a-half tracks, where you can gain an advantage by coming down, taking fresh tires, back out. Most of these trucks behave differently. You got a full tank of fuel versus when you're running with less, so that's always something to take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. As that fuel drains off, the weight is situated differently. It's balanced differently, so the balance in your truck changes, and you've got to be able to account for that. And really, when you're on the track, about the only thing you can account for by doing is by finding a different lane, or by just knowing how your truck is going to react and be ready for it. One of the things that impresses me about these drivers is they practice a lot. They will get out there in groups and practice and run fuel runs and run with old tires, with new tires, and see how their truck behaves, so they know in any given situation what that truck is going to do. It's going to get loose. It's going to push. It's going to feel light and not down in the track.
Oh,
so,
there we go.
So made a liar out of me.
Well, that's it. So this is good to watch. There's a lot happening here. Got a big pack of drivers. Nearly 3/4 of the field is down onto pit road. And why? Because they hit the 20 to go mark. That means they realize this race is pretty much running. It's just basically going to be green flag all the way. Go ahead and gamble, get in, get fuel, get out. All of these guys, that's a fuel only stop, only around 7-8 seconds, and they are back out en masse to get back out on the track.
Boy, they just put on a clinic of how to do a green flag pit stop. Come in as a big pack and go back out as a big pack.
Yep, cleanly. So, and just like that, the rest of the field is now coming down. Wilkinson, Siebels, Broussard, and Robert Rock. Robert Jordan also now on to pit road. Steve Korosek right now is our leader. And we'll bring up the track map. You do have guys who are on pit road who now are trying to get off of it. You see them right there trying not to lose a lap.
Yeah, we're going to probably end up blending in. These guys have a good head of steam, so you see them right there blowing by them.
Yep.
And these guys will have to get up and get in the mix and draft their way back up to the front.
All right, we've got Edward Fielder was scored right there in the lead, but Edward's now on to pit road. And that should be the last stop of the race.
Yeah, this is going to help Steve Korosek. He's only ran 4 races out of the 7 that we've run so far. So he's down there a ways in the points. But as much as he's running up front tonight, I think we can expect a good finish out of him, and that'll help him in this points battle.
Well, 18 laps to go. It could stay the way it is. It could not. I expect at the end that this will not be the way it finishes. Pretty much with 2 laps to go, it is game on.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a lot of competitive guys in that front running pack right now, and every single one of them wants to be the first across the checkered line. So take those checkered flags. So it'll be a battle at the end. Everybody's still playing nice with 17 to go, but you get down to 10 to go, 5 to go, it's going to start getting a little antsy. And then those last couple laps, they'll put on a show. Let's put it that way.
Well, we really appreciate all of you tuning in tonight to the IWF broadcast on the Super Speedway Kings Truck Series here at Daytona. Thank you for tuning in. Tuesday night, or whether you watch it live or you watch it as a replay later, we thank you and we appreciate you if you could. Whatever stream you're following us on, where that happens to be. Oh, wrecking!
Oh,
right here.
No. 22
right
is in that one. There goes the 8, I think.
Caution has not come out yet. There it is.
There it is.
There's a lot to unpack there because there's a lot of contact. So we can go back to find where we saw that. Oh, let's back that up. You saw a little bit right there. Let's watch this take place right here on that outside line.
Yeah, that 89 of Joshua Gaithright.
He's got a good run. He tacks the back of the 22.
Yeah.
Gets him a little bit out of shape, and unfortunately that spins down into the 510 of Richard Sanchez. Let's grab the 44 of Anthony English here, get a better, wider shot as we continue here. And unfortunately, there's a lot of cars stacking up behind. This was at the front of the pack. The 88 is involved. The
Gabe
510,
Butler up on 2 wheels.
Yep, the 90 made it through clearly. That's Gary Jenkins, but there is stuff happening behind. Let's see if we can grab the far chase and let this play out a bit.
Yeah. By this point, everybody's running at a different speed, so they're scattering, trying to find a clear lane to get through. And then back into the throttle till the yellow comes out.
So the good news here is that this has been such a clean race. These guys get 2 quick repairs. And what that means here on iRacing is it's basically a do-over. You can drive down, go on to pit road, especially under caution here, get a brand new truck to come back out with, and get back in line. And at that point, it does give you an opportunity here, and we may see more drivers come down and top off fuel just in case there happens to be multiple green-white checkers. Because right now, when they came down the last time at lap 57, 58, they really didn't have a whole lot of extra fuel on board in case there were extra green-white checkers or overtime here in NASCAR. So it's like Workman has got.
Not sure what Zachary Workman's doing there.
Yeah, he took a shortcut through the grass. So I'm not sure if that's going to result in a penalty. Maybe not. Well, anyways, so we may see more drivers take advantage here and take that opportunity to come down here on lap 63 and top off fuel just in case something were to happen. About half the field has fuel. Well, it's 5 extra laps later. But of course, with the fact that a caution has come out, it may not be that. Why give up the track position? So we'll see.
Yeah, it's. I have proven myself time and time again that I don't think the same way. And so we know who the experts are, the guys in the trucks. So be interesting to see what their thought process is. And when we get to the end of this race, stick around. We'll have interviews with the top 3 drivers, and we'll be able to ask them some of those questions.
So with 13 laps to go, the field is forming back up on the pace truck. And we'll get these trucks underway momentarily. Zachary Workman is currently showing as your control car. He is going to be pretty much in charge of this restart. We've got 19 trucks that are still here and running. A little bit of an attrition. Some because of wrecks, some because of hockey practice. So.
Steve Korosek was having a little bit of fun with Zachary Workman there. Came down, was running right up next to him. Came on the radio and said, "I'm going to lean on your door on this start, okay?" Guys just having a little bit of fun with each other. It's all fun and games here on yellow flag laps, but coming up here pretty soon, when that pace truck dives down, it's going to be all business again. The guys are in the front want to stay there, and the guys behind them want to get there.
All right, we'll take the green flag here. It'll be with 12 laps to go. Pace truck is dropping off. Workman's in charge. Geico restart zone, and off we go. He held the field up a little bit there. We'll see how that all plays out, but that definitely gave a good opportunity on that outside line. That low line was in there. Top 10, Workman, Korosek, Conrad, Nagels, Laurie, Lane, Wilkinson, Fries, Siebels, and Belver. We are 3 wide with 12 laps to go.
This is where it starts to get interesting.
Yep, it sure does.
Got 3 cars in that outside lane. Middle lane, you see that 22 there starting to sneak his way up, and the 55, I think that is. They're gonna get racy.
Yep,
boy.
That 24 was out of shape there. That 6 in the middle was bouncing off and around. Definitely a lot of action here with 11 laps to go. If you thought this race was over and in the bag for Korosek, stay tuned.
Yeah, anybody in those first 2 rows has an even chance at it right now, I think.
Of course, they got a big push from Cody Nagels.
Now the inside line.
When there's a push, there's always an opportunity to get out of shape.
Yep. Yeah, boy, anytime you're 3 wide at Daytona, those little side-to-side movements make everybody nervous. Everybody starts getting twitchy. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there between the 6 and the 8. Cody Nagels and Conrad.
Well, not only do you have the actual contact between the trucks, but you've got side drafting that's going on. That's just the air moving that truck around as you're passing it and holding it back or impacting its ability to go forward. So there's not just contact that affects your truck.
Yeah, Steve Korosek finally got out in front enough in front of that 19 of Zachary Workman, so he dropped down to that inside lane, and those guys have a good run right now.
So we are 3 by 3 by 3 right there at the front. with 9 laps to go here at Daytona. This is why we walk the Super Speedway Kings each and every week for this kind of racing craft here with these guys.
Yeah, this is an amazing show when they get down to the end of this race and they're 3 wide at Daytona. That is, it's just, got some guys decided to get a little breather there just as we talk about it. And now we're back to 2 wide, but we still have 9 laps to go.
9 laps to go. This is anybody's race, especially when you may have contact up front. So, we've seen guys from 7, 8 cars back with contact up front be able to drive right through and be the winner. So. All right, so the 88 of Butler poked his nose out, but said, okay, I'll just stay here. The outside line, a little bit of movement there. That 6 car's got some, when it comes off the exit of those corners, it definitely has a bit of movement there. With it. We haven't really talked about the fact that this is what's called an open setup league, so that means these guys set up their trucks.
Yeah, they basically set them up so that they drive the way they want them to. So you could have 6 trucks up there in that front pack, and all 6 have different setups. So I'm guessing that is it the 6 of Cody Nagels that we're seeing getting a little. Here we go, a little contact.
90 in the wall, tagged the wall with the 510, I think, behind him.
Yep. Everybody gathered it back up. Now we're 3 wide again.
That was Gary Jenkins. The 6 is all over the place. That 22 backed way out of it. That's the 22 of Zach Lima. He backed out of it. Now we're back to 3 wide, 7 laps to go.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think that 6 of Cody must have a very loose setup because his car is twitchy, man. Just little adjustments, and he's making a lot of
contact. Can they see it? No.
Gabe Butler into the wall.
Right, all at the front. Big wreck here with 6 laps to go. Lots of damaged race cars out there.
Yeah, Gabe Butler had a nice run going there in that outside lane. He finally got a little bit of help and was making some progress. And then we'll have to go back and take a look at it to see what actually caused that.
Let's get a different view here. Let's jump back to the 6 car of Cody Nagels. Let's see where he wound up and get a far chase shot here.
Cody just made a comment on the radio about how he's trying to dial in. I wonder, that looks like a push from that 25, doesn't it? That gets Gabe Butler all of a sudden cocked to the left.
Yeah, but there's some action happening in front with the 8. Right there, there's some contact. So is it real contact?
Looks like netcode, doesn't it?
It does. Let's jump up to Eric Lorry's truck here. Let's get a chase view. That's not going to help us. Let's jump a little bit farther up to Nagels in a chase, or the 8 possibly. That's dude Conrad here. Or just Korosek. That would probably not be a. Let's jump on Korosek. Let's back up just a little bit. So the 8 comes up. So there's a so what starts it is it looks like there's a little bit of a push. He's pushing the 19. He gets maybe a little bit out of shape with the push here, so he goes up a little bit, and looks like he's doesn't actually contact him, but it's enough that iRacing thinks you were going to, and unfortunately that tends to then get the 027 a little bit out of shape. I think Gabe checked up just a little bit there. Let's back out a bit.
Yeah, that could be why that car behind him got into him, because I think he got a little bit of a tap there, and he may have lifted just enough.
Yeah, that's Kevin Freeze. That's right behind him, right there.
Yeah.
So there's a
Nagels, The right front of Cody Nagels makes contact,
It
I
does.
think.
It does. He straightens it back out, but unfortunately is not able to hold it. The turn
Yeah.
27 comes up. There's some contact, and then it's on from there. All
And
right.
that's right at the end of pit road. So anybody that's truck that's still drivable, they've got to drive the whole way around.
Yep. Oh, and Gabe takes a big shot in the driver's
Yeah,
door.
right. Oh, man.
Yep, from the 74. All right, so well, we are under caution. 4 laps to go. Lights are still on. I don't think we're going to wind up making it in regulation. We may need 1 overtime to get this done, or more. I'm expecting
Guys
that
were just
go ahead.
Guys were just talking on the radio about those impacts like that when you're bouncing off various cars, and what happens with your steering wheel. And it made me remember I was in a race the other night, and guy took a shot and thought he broke his wrist because his steering wheel snapped so hard, and the way he was gripping it when it snapped, he ended up going to the emergency room. Ended up just a bad sprain, but it can be dangerous. You can get hurt on these if you're not careful.
Yeah, this isn't like your Xbox or your controllers that you're playing with. Most of these guys have specialized rigs where there is force feedback between that steering wheel and the motor that controls it and connects to iRacing. Actually has a lot of tension on it. You can feel the pull on the car. That inertia is transmitted directly to the wheel. So there's a lot of force that's on that steering rig, and that gets consequently translated directly to you, the drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. You see it on television in the NASCAR races, those in-car cameras, where a lot of times if a driver's going to hit the wall, he'll lift his hands off the wheel or fold his arms on his chest because he doesn't want that wheel snapping to break a finger or break a wrist. And it's the same thing in these. I know a lot of times if I'm going to be in a wreck, if I think it's going to be significant impact, I'll let go of the wheel.
Well, this has completely changed the entire complexion of this race. Our top 10 is completely different. Workman, Conrad, Lane, Gaithright, Siebel, Sanchez, Wilkinson, Rock, Broussard, and English. Our pace truck is about to drop off. 3 laps to go. This will be I guess this is officially a green-white checker. We'll see how this plays out. Zach Workman is your control vehicle, and we are back underway here with just 2 laps to go. Next time by, white flag.
Yep, iRacing did not label this as a green-white checker, so right. It's the same, essentially the same as 2 laps. But we still have our, 3 green-white checkers available.
So we are still in regulation. No overtime as of yet. Let's take off that tower so we can see these guys go. Big push by the 89 to push the 8 of Duke Conrad out front. And that leaves the 45 on the outside. We are 3 wide. That outside right back up. If we can get by cleanly here, we can get down past the start-finish line, which we do. That means this is the final lap here of our Super Speedway Kings here at Daytona. Oh, wrecking already.
Oh, boy.
Big wreck back behind the field. That doesn't mean anything. It's not going to affect this. Whatever happens at the front stays at the front. Duke Conrad shows the way. 19 Workman behind him. He's the pusher. The 89 is on the outside. That is Joshua Gaithright. He's got these 45 of Todd Siebels behind him. It's a battle of the low line versus high line.
That inside line's got to run. They're coming up. They're putting the 8 out in front right now. Let's see what happens when they come out of turn 4. Coming past the pit entrance.
Coming to the stripe right here.
Contact!
Oh!
They're wrecking.
At the stripe.
Oh, my.
This is going to be an angles game between. Let's go back to
We'll
that
have to
checkered
see what
flag.
happens here. Looks like Joshua Gaithright. It's not official on our racing software yet, but iRacing is picking Joshua Gaithright in the 89 truck as the winner.
We should get a shot of the finish right here with our finish cam.
Yeah, the 45 tries to split the middle, and both the 89 stayed where he was, and the 8 started up a little bit, it looks like. Yep. And that 45 gets pinched, and that sends everybody. Oh, my. Look at that.
That is the delta right there by a nose with the 89 of Joshua Gaithright coming out ahead of the 8 of Dude Conrad.
What
Wow.
a finish. Wow. Super Speedway Kings, these guys never disappoint us. That may have been a relatively caution-free race, but there was still lots of fireworks at the end.
Oh, Joshua Gaithright's got his burnout. And a number of guys celebrating. Let's go ahead and get that official finishing order up here. All right, here's how we finish, folks. Joshua Gaithright wins the race. Dude Conrad in second. Siebel's in third. Zachary Workman is in fourth. Dean Wilkinson is in fifth. Brian Broussard in sixth. Eric Laurie in seventh. Richard Sanchez in eighth. Gabe Butler finishes in ninth. And Eric Fielder finishes in 10th.
You got Gary Jenkins in P11 there, followed by Cody Nagels in 12th. Kevin Fries in 13th, Robert Rock 14th, Everett Lane in 15th, Anthony English 16th, Zachary Lima 17th, which is very disappointing for him. He was up near the front there as we got close to the end. Robert Jordan in 18th, followed by Steve Korosek in 19. Also going to be very disappointed because he led a lot of laps this race. We have the Groover brothers in 20th and 21st before they left to go play hockey tonight. And then Joe Delavecchia is in 22nd, Bob Fitzgerald in 23rd, and Brian Rainville didn't start the race tonight, so he finishes in 24th.
All right, so we're looking for our drivers in our waiting room, looking for our top three, let's get that back up here. Look for Todd Siebels.
Todd Siebels ought to be. I heard the call to the drivers to stay on Discord and make their way up, but.
Yeah, let's see if we can grab Todd Siebels and.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's down there in TW Motorsports.
Yep. Todd, congratulations on your P3 finish. Welcome to the broadcast booth.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about the ending to that race there, Todd. How did you? What did you think your chances were? And it looked like you tried to split the middle there at the very end. What happened?
Yeah, I was pushing Josh pretty hard for the last couple laps and had an opportunity to get him a win. But right before the finish, he went a little bit high, and I thought, well, gee, if there's an opening, I'm going to take it. So,
yep.
I did want to make sure to at least get a third. I surely would have liked to have had a second. But when he went high, I thought we don't have an opportunity to get second. But if I split the gap, maybe I'll switch things up. Fortunately, it didn't cost him or second place, or myself anything. But anyway, had a good time and fortunate to be on the podium. That's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a wild finish there at the stripe for sure. Any shout outs tonight, Todd?
Oh, see, I'm sitting here talking to you, and I didn't even push the button. It makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Just in my TW voice, I've got Dean Wilkinson and Robert Rock, and we also have Brian Broussard. We work really good together on the pits and our gas strategies. Want to thank all the folks here broadcasting. You all do a fine job, and thank Super Speedway Kings for such good competitive racing we get to take part in.
We appreciate you. Hey, if you want to hang
Good
out,
deal.
we're going to bring Dude Conrad in, and we'll bring Joshua in a moment. If you're welcome to hang out in the booth with us.
10-4, and congratulations to Josh for the win and Dude for second place.
Great. Dude, welcome to the broadcast booth.
What's going on, guys?
Congratulations on your P2 finish. That was a wild finish there. As you were coming to the stripe, you had a pretty good run. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, we had workmen pushing us almost. Well, we didn't think we had it in the bag. We had a good little fight going on there at the line, and I guess we got turned. I don't know what happened. I was watching the replay just now. I didn't get to see it.
Well, I think
it's just racing.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Todd's here in the booth. Todd Siebels, who finishes in third. I think it was right there. Y'all were headed towards the stripe, and Todd saw an opportunity to drop down after pushing Joshua Gaithright to see if he could find a spot for himself in the middle. And it all kind of worked out the way it did.
No, it didn't work out. Damn it.
You made it an exciting finish though, dude. That was boy, for the fans watching at home, especially after a race that didn't have very many cautions. One of the questions I wanted to ask was, I thought everybody would on that last fuel run, everybody filled up with I forget how many to go, but when we got to 20 to go and you could make it to the end, I thought guys would stretch it further. But man, there was a mass exodus with 20 to go for everybody to top off their tanks. Well,
Yeah,
what was your thinking on that?
That's one of the reasons we do that, is to break away from everybody else, and then but they see everybody dive to the pit road and making room for they're not stupid. They've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
They know what we're doing.
Todd, I want to congratulate you. You started 22nd, so good finish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
We had a lot of fun tonight. Yeah, I know it was a long green flag run. That's what I like anyway.
Yep.
Green flag pit stops. It was fun.
What's any shout outs, dude, before I bring Joshua into the booth?
Just a thank you to Zachary Workman for pushing there at the end. I know he gave it hell, and just to the team, boot knocker, trying to get back into this thing, racing every race with them, and you guys rock and roll. I don't know if y'all know. I'm sure y'all know that. It's fun watching y'all's broadcast. Y'all are great.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Part of it is just we just love what we do, so that always makes it more fun.
You can tell.
Appreciate that. All right, so let's bring our winner in. Joshua, congratulations. Welcome to the broadcast booth. I also have Todd Siebels here and Dude Conrad. We're here to celebrate your victory.
Yeah, man, thank you. Honestly, I wouldn't have had a victory without Todd, so Todd, thank you.
You're welcome. Good way to come out on top there, Josh.
Yeah, I sent Conrad a message. I said, let's go. I thought he was going to stay up when he dropped down. I was like, okay. And then you stuck it to me, and I was able to keep the nerves down enough to not spin out while you pushed me. So thanks, man.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure. You went high a little bit there at the end. I thought, well, that creates an opening, and then that's where we kind of started a little bit of wedge.
No. Well, so you gave me the push, and I had plenty of momentum, and I was like, well, I might as well float up and give him a chance to finish better. So
very kind of you.
I was trying to return the favor there.
No, all I did was give Dude incident points. Sorry, Dude.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Hey, Joshua, I've got to ask you, when we were calling the very, very beginning of the race, I said to Rick, I don't recognize that name. Have you run in these Tuesday night truck races before?
Yes, I have. I used to be a regular, and I got a new job, so I go away for 8 to 10 days at a time. So my frequency has gone down a lot recently, but yeah, I've been racing Super Speedway Kings for quite some time.
Yeah, it's obvious that you know how to race the Speedways. I just hadn't seen you out here in this season with these guys, so it's good to have you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they let me hang out.
Well, a great way to make a splash and come back. You were think you started around 11th, and here you finished in P1. It was a really technical race. It was great to watch. The long green flag runs, the green flag pit stops. That just makes it for me as both a broadcaster and as a viewer. I love the strategy.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this league is everyone can hold their own. So we actually get green flag stops and pit strategy actually comes into play. So.
Well, any shout outs you'd like to make?
Yeah, shout out to Don Wheaton Chevrolet. Thanks for the sponsor, Bruzy Racewear USA. Thank you, and Angel Studios in the Chosen. So thanks to all of you guys for hosting and broadcasting, and thanks to the league.
All right, well there you have it. Joshua Gaithright wins the 8th race. Jeff, is it 8th?
Yeah, this is the 8th race of the season.
Well, wins the 8th race of the season here at Daytona. Next week, we are Atlanta.
Yeah, I think it's Atlanta next week.
All right. So
that is fun.
It is always fun. So, folks, if you're watching, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast on whatever stream you're watching, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. We appreciate you liking and following, and tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tune in. And like and follow along. The more the merrier. We appreciate you. Tonight we had a great race with the Super Speedway Kings, and we look forward to next week. Thank you for watching the IWM Broadcast Network, and have a great night.